Welcome everybody to our Zoom presentation where we're just kind of checking in with you. So we're just opening up the channels tonight to facilitate some conversation and get you guys all set up for whatever questions you might have, whatever answers you might need. We realize that we have a kind of an unusual situation with Hawaii, which is one of the reasons we wanted to do an early Zoom with anybody who had any kind of questions. And Hawaii is a little bit unique in the sense that to set up a trip to Hawaii is not the easiest thing in the world. Joelle has been like diligent, and I mean like diligent on watching availability, getting pricing, updating rates, changing around things. She has been amazing. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about the trip and the sites that she's picked for us. Of course, I'll be happy to let you know about what our spiritual agenda is, because honestly, I've been getting tons of downloads about what's up for us going there and what the energetics and the alchemy is going to be like. Of course, when we travel together, you guys know that we're here to serve the universe, and I'm sometimes one of the last people to know what I'm going to be talking about because I just work here, right? The universe is always in charge. And whoever participates in this beautiful trip is going to obviously be contributing to the agenda, because the universe is also here to help and heal and meet you where your needs are. And my job is truly just to be a facilitator of all of this, to hold the light, to help you process whatever you're processing, and then of course to be the voice for the rays that are contributing to all the beautifulness that we've got going on. Okay, so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joelle if you want to share with us a couple of the details that you've got to share with this beautiful group. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. What I'll do is I'll share my screen because I do have something that I can. So basically, I'm just going to give you the logistics. Leanne will give you more spiritual side of everything we're doing. But we're going to be going from April 28th to May 5th. And
Really quick, Joelle, what day do you want them to arrive?
That's what I'm going over next. So,
okay. I didn't mean to tell you what to do.
So in day one, everyone's going to arrive on April 28th into Honolulu Airport. Yeah. And we'd love everybody to arrive by 6 p.m. That way we can get everybody together. We can have a nice opening dinner and welcome dinner and just get everybody together and on the same page. And the airport that I have right now, unless things change, is does have free airport shuttles. So it'll be easy when you guys come in, you can just call the hotel and it will take you directly there. I try to get a hotel really close to the airport for this first part because we're going to fly out early the next morning to Kauai. So I wanted something that's going to be quick and easy for us. Okay. And our next,
just like we had for the first night, basically, guys.
It's just getting everybody together, getting us on the page and getting us ready to go. So the next morning, oh, and one of the things I wanted to say for everybody is I'm not really going to go over things as far as meals. In this, all your meals are included. We'll have breakfasts every day together. A lot of our lunches, because we're going to be at locations, we're probably going to do kind of a picnic lunch, but we're going to have good food the whole time we're there. And then we'll have dinners because we are staying at hotels the whole time. So we'll have dinners out or dinners at the hotel. So we're going to be doing different things every day. But like I said, because we're going to be going places where we're going to be gone for most of the day, and some of them, it's not easy to get back to someplace. And Kauai is a small island, but sometimes we're going somewhere, like I'll show you in a couple of slides. So we'll have to take our lunches with us in some cases. So we'll fly the next morning. It's a quick 45-minute flight to Kauai. I think even less than that. I think the whole getting there and back and everything, or getting to on the plane and back down about 45 minutes.
Look at the on your picture.
Yeah, a little bit.
The rainbow, that's like a temple for the rays just sitting on top of the mountains. It's so beautiful. I haven't seen that picture yet. That's awesome.
It comes up a lot for Kauai. So one of the first things we're going to do is, it is always said that whenever you go to Kauai, the first thing you have to do before you really get involved is to go to the mouth of the Waialua River, which you'll see the road is kind of goes over it. So it's where the Pacific Ocean comes into the river there. And you get in the river, and we're going to do a gratitude ceremony because you have to ask their permission and give your gratitude for being allowed to be there and connect with these amazing beings in this amazing island. So we'll start off there doing that. And the water there is, I got to tell you, if you haven't been to Hawaii, the water is magical. and it's warm, and you're not going to have to bring a lot of clothes. So you don't worry about overpacking, because we're going to probably be in shorts and bathing suits and everything most of the time we're there, which has been different from the last couple trips. We've
Where
had
we've
to do a lot of layering.
multiple temperatures and multiple climates and
Yeah.
crazy.
Right next to the mouth of the river is, and I can't say a lot of these, but they're called a heiau, which is their name for a temple. And this particular one, which you can see on the screen, and I will not butcher it because I can't say it, is a temple right next to it. And it's a wonderful temple that's to welcome the sun, and I guess it means the rising sun. So it's a great place to do, people go and do chants and prayers there. Unfortunately, most of the rooms for these temples, you're not allowed to go in them, but you can stand around them and connect in with them. So after that, we'll have lunch, and then there's going to be some free time because, we're doing a lot of traveling, and we'll give you guys a chance to connect in. So hopefully, unless things change, this is the hotel we're going to be staying at. And they have lots of little things to do. It's right along the beach. They have performances at night. They have fire pits. They have pools. They have hot tubs. Lots of cool stuff. So you can get bikes, rent bikes to go. You can go surfing, whatever you guys would like to do on your free time while you're at the hotel. And the next day, we
Spend the whole time at the hotel. That looks like so beautiful.
yeah, and I don't know if you can see on some of the pictures there. I don't think I put one of them on there, but there's a whole big section right behind where the beach is here. It's all grass and stuff, so with trees and everything. So there's lots of areas to kind of relax and connect, and where we can move. We can do a lot of stuff at the hotel. Just even like behind you can see part of it behind the chairs there from the pool before you get to the beach. But there's lots of areas for us to gather that we're going to have our own time, where we're not necessarily have to worry about being around a lot of people or disturbing anybody. We can do our own thing. And, okay, let's go back. The next morning is something I didn't get to do the whole thing. I did a mini version of this last time I was there, but we're going to do the morning one from 9 to 11, and we're going to be doing a Shiva Puja at the Hindu temple there at the top of the mountain. And the area there is really beautiful and it's nice, but they're very specific. I put a little note here. You either have to wear traditional Hindu clothing, or you have to wear something that covers your knees, kind of, you can have, you have to have like a little bit longer. You don't have to cover your elbows, but you definitely have to cover your shoulders. So just, that's one of the things we have to be aware of for clothing wise. Something to wear that's comfortable, but it's, as they put, I think elegant clothing is what they ask for. But it's going to be meditation and chanting. It's very beautiful, very powerful, and the monks are absolutely hysterical. And so if you get a chance, hopefully we will afterwards, to talk to them. And one of the things that we can see there on the property is they're building, and they've been building it for almost 20 years now, and absolutely amazing temple. And it's being carved in these beautiful marble stones in India. Piece by piece, they ship it over and then they put it together. And it's pretty close to being done. And sometimes if there's time, the whatever monk there was the one running the puja in the morning, he takes people over to it. So hopefully we'll be able to get him to kind of take us over to it and get to experience it, because it's absolutely beautiful. But there's so much to do around the area there. They do close at noon every day, so we only have about an hour to experience the grounds. But there's so many things to do there. One of the things is they don't call it actually Ganesh, but it looks like Ganesh. And there's an area where you write down your prayers and you put them in. And there's a special belly ring. There's places to meditate and kind of connect in on top of what we would have already done that morning. So it's really cool. And then the property itself, the mountain around it, there's a forest that is open till like 4. So we have time. We don't have to rush off of it. We can do if somebody wants to do a little bit of hiking or just relaxing, there's things we can do there. One of the things that we learned a long time ago on a lot of our trips is not to give too much to do in one day. And like our last one with Mount Shasta, if we did more than thing one day, it's something that was close by. And a lot of the places we're going to be going to are close by. So we may do more than one thing a day, but it's because we're just literally going to be really close to it. In the afternoon, we're going to have some free time. So I put a couple things down, one in particular, because somebody really wants to go ziplining. Leanne. So So we have some different things that we could do and some other sites that we can go. There are actually a lot of sites I have listed down for places if we have free time and people want to do something else besides they want to get together, we can do it. So it's like the one picture below the zip lining is called the Queen's Bath. And it's right along the ocean. And you can see it's really cool there. But unfortunately, when the tides are really high or very strong or the weather is a little stronger, it's very, very dangerous. So it's one of those sites we'd have to pick and choose and make sure we're okay. The other pictures are of the North Shore. There's a little town there with great little shops, especially a really cool little crystal shop. So there's some amazing shopping we can do. There are things people want to hike. There's lots of amazing hikes people can go on. So there's a lot, and the island is really different. It goes basically it's four directions, and Kauai is considered the crown chakra of the seven major islands for Hawaii, and the North Shore is completely different than the East Shore, which is the main part we'll be on, more the east, and then the south and the west. And they literally have like one area is going to be more like a desert area, another is going to be tropical rainforest area. So it's each section is very different, and it's not a very big island. So kind of cool. And when you're there, it's very interesting because the vegetation and the ground and everything, it represents all different parts of the world. So you can definitely tell this is Lumeria because like parts of it look like Brazil, other parts of it look like New England, and then parts of it look like Florida, and then it's just all different parts of like Japan. So all different parts of the world kind of are connected into this one little area, which I thought was really amazing. Hey, the next day we're going to my favorite spot on the island. It is the Luea Falls, which is also known as the Hidden Falls, and that means where heaven meets earth. And this is not a, it's a pretty tall waterfall. It's a very light waterfall. When you go under it, it literally feels like air. It is beautiful and light. And it was the Queen's Bath, or the Polynesian queen. So they don't allow you to go through it anymore, but there's an area with the ruins of their palace. And this is a bath where only the women were allowed, and it was only for the queen and the women that were with her. And I don't know if you can kind of see in the picture here is those little dots that look like something got on my camera like water, but those are actually the fairies, and they're moving so quickly there are little trails behind them that got caught in the picture. So, and there's a lot about and I always say it wrong, the elementals on the island that are considered the master creators of the world. And I always say it wrong. I think it's Menahuan or something along those lines. They apparently were gone for a long time. When we were there, we saw them everywhere, and they become very prevalent again. So hopefully we can connect in a little on there. But to get there, we have to canoe for about a mile and a half, and then it's a mile walk into the rainforest, and it can be a little muddy to get there. So one of the things is like, don't wear hiking shoes. You would think you'd wear them, but you don't want to. So something like a water shoe or something, even barefoot, a lot of people go in. So just a way to get in there. But once you do, you can swim in the water there. It's not deep, but they do have rocks. You have to be careful when you're going through the rocks that are in there. But it's an amazing, amazing waterfall, and you can feel her presence. And hopefully be something you guys will really enjoy as much as I did. As I mentioned before, the temples are called Heiau, and there are 7 major temples representing the 7 chakras along the Waialua River, and this is one of the major ones that you can get to. And so it's a great place to connect. Like I said before, you can't get in, but the energy is amazing there. So, but there's lots of areas around it that we can sit, we can meditate, we can chant, whatever Leanne is guided to bring us to do there. And then when you turn around across the street, you can see a double waterfall, which is really cool. Okay. The next day is it's called Secret Beach, and it's actually, you have to go a little ways to get down to it, but it's not a secret anymore. People do know about it, but you don't have a lot of people because it's surrounded by multi-million-dollar mansions. A lot of people don't really go down to it, a lot of tourists don't. But it's an area where we can spend the day and just have fun. You can body surf, we can swim, we can do some great meditations, we can do some mandalas in the sand, we can just take a nap, relax, whatever you want to do. There's lots of stuff like check out the amazing lava rocks around the beach. So this is a day for us to really connect in with the waters, which are amazing, and the island itself, and have some fun at the same time. Oh, and let me take back that. And then after that, I don't know if we're going to spend the entire day there. We'll kind of think it, but it definitely, we're trying to have it set up where you have a little bit of free time every day to do something. So we can, as a group, go somewhere, or if people want to go shopping or check something out, we have time to do it. Then the next day, we are going to fly back to Oahu, and we'll check into our hotel. And then we're going to spend a little time checking out some of the sites around Honolulu, especially the Kuan Yin Temple and the Foster Botanical Garden. And then you guys have lunch. We'll have some free time to explore Honolulu, which I think would be cool. Actually a pretty good sized city, so it'd be nice. But again, if you want to go to some of the beaches or anything like that, we have the opportunity for that. Then the next morning, I'm sorry, we do have a couple mornings on here that are a little early. This one is one of them in particular because we're going to swim with the dolphins.
Yay.
And
Okay, but note to self, when Joelle says it's a little bit early, keep in mind Hawaii is already 4 hours past us. They have their own time zone. So like think of like California time plus an extra hour. So our morning, if you're on the East Coast, Elaine, you're a little bit different. You're already on like West Coast Pacific time. There's still a nice window there. So if you're not a morning person, kind of like keep that in your mind. Morning person doesn't really apply when you're 4 hours late for morning. It'll bring you on time. Like, and I always have to remember that. Like every time I go east, I'm like, wait, I'm not a morning person. That's gonna suck. Like, wait a minute. If she says morning time and that means 9, that's really like, okay, great. Plus 4 hours, and then I can adjust. So just
Hawaii is a 6-hour difference from the East Coast right now. So, but we're gonna have to luckily the company will pick us up at our hotel. But it is around a 6 a.m. pickup time. We will be out on the boats from 7:30 to 11:30. They do provide like a little lunch, something, a snack type of lunch or something like that. But then we'll probably have like an actual lunch later on. Then you guys will have some free time to relax and then get ready because that evening we are doing a dinner and a traditional luau. So that would be fun. And then the next day, we unfortunately leave Hawaii. So that's our last day connecting in. The hotels in Hawaii all have breakfast set up in Honolulu have breakfasts that come with the hotels. The one in Kauai will be meeting for breakfast there. So we'll work it out from that. But does anybody have any questions about, I mean, it was a real quick overview. There's actually a lot of other things we can do. It just depends on what everybody's doing, what you want to do, different things like that. So we can actually spend more time because we're not necessarily, except for the tour boat for the dolphins, we're pretty much can spend as much time at sites we want and change. So it's kind of how we're being guided to experience each site and what work we're going to do there.
So I just want to double. So we're flying in and out of. I was making notes, so I didn't notice the last step. So we're flying out of Honolulu as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, flying in and out. Okay.
And you can set up your flight on that last day anytime you want it to be. So and if you guys want to spend more time there, you're more than welcome to spend any more time there you want. You don't have to leave that day.
Yeah, we oftentimes on our retreats have people that hang out for a few extra days, do an extra something.
And Joelle, do you have, because you do this frequently, do you have any tips as far as booking the flight? I mean, Expedia, just check them all out, or kind of what would you recommend? And I'm assuming the earlier, we talked a little bit about this in Santa Fe, but the earlier the better. Or
it depends too. There's like a time where it goes up and then a time it goes back down. So sometimes the earlier is good, but the more, like right now we're getting close to holiday time, so the prices are going to go up. So it might actually behoove everybody to wait until January to book the flight, because then prices will start to go down. It's after spring break and it's before the end of the school year. So we're in a good space before it would go up for the summertime. So.
And they don't get too filled up. So if we wait till January, usually we have pretty good luck.
I would look at the flights and see what you're getting for prices. And if you're saying they usually, I wouldn't say book on a weekend, book like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Make sure you guys, if you're doing anything, get insurance. Pay the extra $30, $40, $50 for insurance, because believe me, with the way flights are right now, it comes in handy, because I had to rebook a flight, which I still haven't put through into my insurance yet. But definitely do travel insurance.
And everybody that traveled to Shasta ended up having a problem with their flights, except for like 2 people. So just note to self, it's in that insurance thing. You never think you're going to need it. And then.
The other question I had was, so you talked a little bit about hiking boots, because obviously when I'm thinking of packing, I'm going to try and, pack as light as possible. So is there any part where you think we're going to actually need hiking boots, or just good tennis shoes going to be enough, do you think?
For the most part, I would only bring the hiking boots if you're planning on one of the free times that you're going to try to hike the mountain type of thing. Because the Wild Valley that I have up there is supposed to be spectacular, but that's a lot of hiking. But there are trails that you can drive up and we can like hike down. But I think just sneakers with a good tread. When we're going from the canoe into the waterfall, they suggest water shoes. So anything, not necessarily water shoes that have a little bit of a tread, but or something that you don't mind getting wet, because you will get wet going in either way. So, and the picture actually had kayaks. We're not kayaking in. We're actually, instead of going through, last time we went through a company and we had it like limited time and we came back over an hour late, and they were freaking out, thought we had gotten lost or something. And so that was our guide's fault, not ours, but she was enjoying and letting us spend a lot more time, which we totally love that she did that. But we're renting from a place right along the river there, or canoes, so that we can spend as much time as we want, so we don't have to worry about being rushed for time.
Awesome. And I'm
That
assuming
way,
too, if we're renting the canoes, we don't have to bring our own life jackets, right?
no, they will give you life jackets. They also give us a special bag, a waterproof bag that we can put any food, any clothing, any dry towels, anything like that you want to keep dry, your phones, anything like that, you can put it in and secure them. So we have those with us, so you don't have to worry about if something happens, get everything, nothing will get wet. It will all stay dry.
Awesome.
Just so you guys know too, it is double occupancy, everybody. So because it's a hotel, there'll be, unless it's a couple or somebody wants to share a bed, it's 2 people to a room. Unless there are others that want to share together, then we can possibly do more to a room. But basically 2 to a room, you have your own bathroom. I think some of the rooms, I can't guarantee, but I think they have mini refrigerators in them too. So.
Perfect.
And the flight to Kauai is part of including the fee?
Yes, once you get to Kauai and you get to the hotels and everything, there's no cost for transportation. It's all part of the actual fee. So the flight to and from Kauai, the flight, because we have to rent vans to bring everybody around and everything. So all of the transportation, entrance fees to anything, everything we're doing is all included. The only time a meal wouldn't be is if you guys decide, like what happened in Mount Shasta, there's that one night everyone's like, oh, we don't feel like going back to the retreat center. We want to go to a restaurant that was separate. And so if people want to do something separate from that, then that wouldn't be included. But for the most part, or not the most, everything else is included that way.
Cool. So if I can give you guys a little bit of an energetics hint. The alchemy is going to be amazing. On the surface, there's something that's a little bit weird about going to a Hindu temple in Hawaii and a Buddhist temple here. And we picked a lot of really interesting elements and different sacred sites. And Joelle put a lot of care in picking like the spots that match really well with the things that I'm looking to create. And there's going to be a really interesting alchemy that's going to take place when we're there. But first of all, before I talk about that, let me just say this. This Hawaii trip is very much like the 3rd in a series. And it doesn't mean that you have to come to all of them. That's not a requirement. You're not going to be missing out if you didn't do the first one or the second one, or if you skipped something. But this is very much the 3rd in a really interesting series of violet flame, Aquarian age, grounding the channels, kind of an initiative that my team in Spirit has given to me over the last couple of years. And it's been such a deep level of draw from my soul. Like I need to go to Shasta. I needed to go to the Tetons. I didn't know it until 24 hours before we were in the Tetons, but we got rerouted at the last minute, which was a really interesting story. But the temples that we visited and the way that we were rerouted was actually impeccable and perfect. We ended up tapping into the Blue Ray Temple, the Yellow Ray Temple, and one of Saint Germain's temples in the Tetons as the opening of a really beautiful, masterful unfolding. The second place that we ended up going to is Mount Shasta, where we tapped into a lot of violet flame Aquarian age energy, a ton of it, but also very specifically worked at a self-mastery type of a level and did a lot of really deep inner core soul level clearing work. So the fact that Mount Shasta is the root chakra for the planet kind of bumped heads just a little bit in the perfectly frictioning way, energetically speaking, to match the crown chakra of California with the root chakra of the planet. And what does that create, energetically speaking? Oh, and stick a couple violet flame temples in there. Let's see what happens. It was a melting pot of energies, but that was a really powerful alignment between humanity and spirituality. And for anybody who went on that trip, you'll know that let me back up. The Tetons, massive heart opener. The very first message just arriving in the Tetons from Archangel Michael and the beautiful team in spirit there was quite simply, and I might cry saying this again, which I always do, welcome home. As if we have been training in these temples and passing through them energetically, etherically for many, many years since our awakening time and in our service to our beautiful planet and to our human peeps. But to come to the temple and like literally sit in its energy. And it was not even a temple that was above the planet. We didn't have to climb up or get out of our body. No, it was like literally sitting on the earth. The whole time we were in the Tetons, it was like walking through the thickness of blue. Like I closed my eyes, it was just blue everywhere, amazing. And then we went to the Yellow Ray Temple, and that was amazing, like super Lord Lanto energy, really beautiful. Saint Germain was amazing, totally prepped us for the work we would do in Shasta. Anyway, second trip, we get to Shasta, we do this like really deep core level, mastery level clearing, cleansing work. Hawaii is the party. Okay, so I want to make that like really clear for those of you that might have been a little bit intimidated by the intensity of some of the things that we did in, of course, the energies of Kauai are going to be amazing and intense, but in like a really yummy kind of a way. In Shasta, we kind of got our butts kicked. Our egos like literally got our butts kicked. Our root chakras got opened. Our soul wounds got revealed. We had to go in and do some really important healing work. It wasn't as easy as I predicted that it was going to be perfectly honest. And yet it was extraordinary and so necessary and completely supported by our team in spirit. And the results of it, to this day, months later, I'm still receiving beautiful blessings. So by the time we get to Hawaii next summer, the energetics of the world are going to have fully begun the integration and landed the integration, I guess you could say, of the Aquarian age and of the violet flame. And so we're also going to be passing through a really important energetic shift that's been going on for 3 years on this planet. And that 3-year portal, just like as the celestials lined up in this particular way, there's something, and I don't remember what the detail of it is, I'll have to look it up, but something happened 3 years ago where an energy got started, and spring of next year is where the closure of that happens, and we catapult into what I'm going to call an age of gloriousness, right? Like all the pressure that we've been feeling for the last 3 years and all the deep inner purification, all the stress, the trauma, the holding of the COVID, the world affairs, the drama, trauma, difficulty, the stress. You guys know what you've been doing for 3 years, right? Like we all know this. It hasn't been easy, but the energetics have been very much tumultuous with reason, right? There's been transmutation going on. And all of this to grind and to grind and to grind and to grind the essence of the violet flame deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the planetary grids. And as it gets deeper, the stuff comes up. One of the things that's been going on in the higher planes from the aquamarine team, which is one of the secret rays, is they have been, so to speak, the image that I get is excavation, like drilling down into the core of our planet. But like literally from the surface of the earth above Hawaii, they have been clearing the channel down to the beautiful Atlantean energies that are resting dormant underneath the Hawaiian plains, ready to draw this beautiful surge of energy upwards, they need help to open the channel and to hold that energy of high heart chakra. Unconditional love. Like, just to say unconditional love, it just doesn't feel like a big enough word, to be perfectly honest. So aquamarine energy is a uniter of the field. And that's one of the reasons why we picked Kauai, because it has that unification energy. It unites the earthly plane with the humanity, with the spirit. And we've created elements to cover all three of those. So there is going to be a beautiful fusion between all these aspects of you that you're connected to. So that's one piece of the agenda. And then another piece of that is really manifesting that in the terms of energetics, calling on some super powerful rays. So we've got the golden ruby ray, Temple of Peace, which is the home of the Elohim, the highest level of elementals, hovering over top of the Hawaiian, the entire chain. It's not like only over Kauai, it's like the whole Pacific area there. And that's going to be definitely our host for us. That's the heart of all of this, guys. That's going to be the fuel that comes into the heart chakra, helping you to align with a beautiful sense of grace, a beautiful sense of self, and to help you really, if there's a healing agenda here, which of course there always is, it's to find the place where peace is missing and make it happen, right? So wherever peace got distorted in your soul, anywhere in your timeline, wherever there is something that is unsettled, we are really going to be concentrating a lot on creating inner peace, and not just inner peace, outer peace, world peace. It's definitely the program that's on the agenda. The aquamarine ray comes in from the Atlantean ages and the Lemurian ages. Now, I say Atlantean, but it's really, the Atlantean predates the Lemurian. The Lemurians like really had it intact. So the energy that's coming up is coming from that far back, really helping us to connect to ancient technologies that haven't been on the planet since that time. We started teaching classes, I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken, Joelle, with the aquamarine, maybe the year before, but it hasn't been very long that I've had the green light to go ahead and talk about aquamarine frequencies. And when I have, it's been absolutely amazing. The qualities that it brings unites the mind and the heart and the soul in a way that 1,000 times better opens you up, provides supreme love, connection, peace, just like all the yumminess. So that energy is also going to be reawakened, not just for us, but to help unite our world across the grids. We're going to be doing grid work, planetary grid work. We're going to be calling upon beautiful portals in the celestial realms. We're going to be calling, of course, on my peeps, the archangels, the ascended masters, and all the teams from the rays and the beautiful Elohim. And it's just going to be amazing. And then the third obvious energy that we're going to be working with, I almost forgot to mention it, is of course Saint Germain and his beautiful violet flame, because that is of course what we are grounding here for everyone. So there will be ceremony, there will be celebration, there will be peace, there will be so much love. It's like a triple dose of love that we're going to be getting on this trip. And then what happens from there, that's up to you. So we're creating a lot of time to really integrate and process at the deepest levels, because the energy is going to be thick, it's going to run deep, but it is also going to be full of so much love. Like, I expect to be overwhelmed by love on a daily basis over there. I really do. And that combination between the elementalness of your being, the human beingness, and the spiritual beingness, those three components, I cannot stress enough how that's going to be part of the magic of the alchemy that we're going to experience. So I'll leave it there. I do have other notes that I could share, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. You guys kind of get the idea, but those are the colors we're working with. We're going to do lots of aquamarine, golden ruby ray, and a lot of violet energy. So if you want to know the chakras that are connected to that, solar plexus is golden ruby ray, not that they're isolated there. We've got the high heart chakra, which unites the throat and the heart, right? So you've got this point also connecting, and then sacral chakra is the violet flame hub inside of us. So we're going to be connecting to some amazingness.
I'm just super excited.
Look at bouncing.
This is so exciting. This is going to be amazing. Just super excited.
It is. So it feels a little bit far away, but honestly, one of the urgencies that we have is the timing of this. Because Hawaii books up so quickly, we need to move pretty fast on this. Joelle and I have been talking about setting a final deadline. I know that in our paperwork, we originally said, you know, our initial deposits for the first opening offer was going to be this week on the 15th. Then we put a second deadline at the end of December, and then we'll check the prices and let you know past that, meaning January, because when we book the rooms, we're going to book them and see how it goes. If they keep going up, we're going to have to make little adjustments. We're going to do our very best to make it as painless as possible, but it's one of the things that we have to really keep our eyes on. So one of the things that we're asking everybody, and we've had tons of response to this, obviously just about everybody who's traveled with us before is like, oh, Hawaii. So we're super excited to have a long list of people that are interested, but I'm going to stress a little bit of urgency in terms of like action. Please, 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 please. If you are waiting, if you're waiting to get answers on things, at least just call us up and let us know. I'm 60-40, I'm 90-10, like I'm almost there. I'm just waiting on this to be able to do that. We're always happy to work with you guys when it comes to the deposits, when it comes to payment schedules. If your heart and your soul say that you need to be here and you want to support this energy, there's nothing that we won't do to make it happen. Okay, so we just need you to talk to us, communicate with us, let us know where your heads and your hearts are. But in terms of booking the hotels, we do need a deposit as soon as you possibly can get it, just to let us know that you're coming. We can figure out all the payments after that, but we do have to book the hotels. That's the one thing that we urgently need to take care of, just so the prices stay down. Okay. And then if you guys have anything else that's a concern, Joelle's amazing at taking care of one of everything. She's a fabulous travel agent. If you need help finding tickets and booking stuff and making sure you got the right kind of insurance, I'm sure she'd be happy to help you. And we're always here for you. We'd love to have you guys come with us. I do believe though, and I really do believe this, and there's something that to be said, and you've probably experienced this before. When you say yes, like unconditionally, I'm going, the universe goes, oh shit, I better get going. Let's go. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
And because we've seen that, right, Joelle? We've seen that many times with people who are like literally on the fence, and they're like, I don't even know how to do it. One of the people that we ran into at the conference, who is a longtime friend of ours, was sharing with us that he really wanted to go to this event, but it was a little bit difficult for him, and he just put it out into the universe. Hey, listen, I really want to go to this thing, and I don't know how to make it happen. And with a very quick turnaround, he received a beautiful gift from somebody who sponsored him to go. Now, I wish everybody, trust me, I wish. I'll take one for the team, no problem at all. I'm happy to be for that. If that's the way it's got to come to you, then great. But for real, put it out in the universe. You are powerful beings. If that's what you want, you say it to the world, it will make it happen. Okay. Whereas, and I'm going to say this is a little bit of a difference, whereas might have been like pushing rocks uphill to make anything happen. Okay. Which was what it was making us do to work for our mastery, to earn the mastery, right? We had to learn to surrender on that trip. This trip is really different. This trip is going to challenge us in almost the opposite way, where it's going to say, how big can you open your heart to let yourself receive? Like, allow Hawaii into your heart. Okay, like, will you let that come in? Will you allow yourself the aquamarine ray that's going to be coming through? Will you allow yourself infinite peace? Like, if you're not ready to receive that, that's what's going to keep you out of Hawaii, right? But if your soul goes, no, even against my fears, even against my resistances, known and unknown, even against anything that might be holding me back cosmically or universally, I am there. Come hell or high water, I'm there. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I don't care if I have to swim across the ocean. I'm gonna right? And that's where I'm coming from.
That's
Nice.
actually what happened last time.
You're welcome.
Last time we went to Kauai, we actually rented a house, and unfortunately is no longer available, but it was not an inexpensive house. And Robin was talking to somebody about it, and the person said, you know, this sounds so great and I wish I can go, but I want to make sure that other people can go, and they paid for the house for us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's something about the energy of that. And then we actually had a couple people on that trip and a couple other ones that really wanted to go. And what they did is they put out, I mean, it's not for everybody, but they put out GoFundMe pages asking people saying, you know, I feel guided to this. This is really something I know it's going to take me to the next level of my healing and what I'm doing in my work. And if you feel guided to help me, and they all got their trips paid for by other people helping them.
But I do believe that it is really about, and I can't, the words are not big enough to express what the feeling in here is. And I know you guys feel it too. It's really more about the love. This is soaking in the heart of divine love on all fronts. Like we're talking like all rays represented, all levels of being, elemental, celestial, human, like soaking in the heart of, like, I don't think that there's a more loving, sacred place on this planet to do this work that we're going to be doing there. That's why we picked it. Okay. So let yourself have the love, open the spirit, say yes to it, and go from there. All right. It starts there, right? It starts there. And then, of course, on the practical level, we'll do anything we can to make it happen with you. All right, guys. So does anybody have any other questions? You know, my phone line is always open. Jabal's phone line is always open. Elaine, if you hold off for a half a minute on buying your ticket until we know that we've got enough people and the numbers by the end of the month, hopefully we'll have a better feel of like our numbers and who's like really on board and what it, you know, make sure that it's a go, go, go before we buy tickets. You're welcome to do that. Okay, my love. Yeah. I'm going to be cheering for all of you and rooting for you and sending you some tons of aloha spirit. So do not be surprised if you get visited, especially by Aloha, who is the Elohim of the Golden Ruby Ray, and especially from Peace. He is the Mr. Elohim on the Golden Ruby Ray. I have already been asking them to go and touch your minds and your hearts, your bodies and your souls and your finances to make it possible, to clear the channels to make it so. I would like to be beautifully held, honestly, beautifully held. I don't want this to be hard for anybody. I want this to be a loving open-heartedness. Okay. So trust on your ends and create on your ends. And I will be doing my part too. Okay.
Yay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us tonight. This won't be our last Zoom. It's our first of however many we need to have, but we'll definitely be checking in with you as we go down to make more announcements and to field any other questions you might have. Okay. So.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Nice to meet you, Elaine.
Bye, everyone.